Mademoiselle, and ça c'est deuxième channel. And aujourd'hui, nous allons parler de maître de l'eau. We're going to be talking about mermaids and if they are good or evil. Now, a lot of you guys liked my lighting, so we're bringing it back, mainly for the spooky, scary type of videos, you know what I mean? Welcome to another episode of La Tobo, whatever. I hope you guys are enjoying it or whatever. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, smash everything. Jenny, we're trying to get to 50K. So let's bring it there because I don't know what y'all doing. There's too many y'all motherfuckers. Yes, really no motherfuckers. Nous shit up, goddamn, nous pas abonné. Okay, we watching, we not liking, and we not subscribing. What's up with that? What's up with that? What's going on? I work and then y'all don't deliver. Subscribe, thank you. Anyways, let's get into it. So, are mermaids good or evil? Comment down below, what do you think? Personally, I think they can be both because at the end of the day, what are humans? Good or evil? We ain't shit, but I think we could be both. Comment down below, what do you think? Because this is something a lot of people tend to really have a big debate about. And to be honest, I feel like they're both, just like us. What are we, good or evil? I really can't ever think that people could say that humans are good. Like, look at all the bullshit we're doing to the earth. Like, I'm very shocked that the earth doesn't just fall out the fucking sky. That's what we freaking deserve, but hey, who am I but some bitch talking shit on YouTube? But you know, when it comes to the whole debate on if mermaids are good or evil, it always comes down to religion, okay? The first theory about mermaids being good or evil is that for the most part, mermaids are demons, okay? They are water demons that fell out of the sky during one of the many revolutions with God, and yeah, they were casted into the water and they are going to stay there for all of eternity. They are shape-shifting water demons, therefore they are evil and they are not to be thought of as anything else. Anyone who thinks otherwise is evil themselves. Anyone that interacts with them or worships them or basically thinks that they're good is just as bad. Now, this is something I've heard almost like all my life. I'm not even gonna stunt. It never made sense to me because it's just like, it's a damn mermaid, like what? Now, of course, before we get into the rest of this video, I do have to give this disclaimer that everything I'm saying in this video has a lot to do with my culture, my Haitian culture. This may be very, very different from your culture or wherever you come from. I would love for you guys to chime down below and let me know what people think about mermaids in your culture, because I'm very, very curious, because I feel like depending on the culture that you come from, people see mermaids extremely differently. Very different depending on where you go and depending on where you're from. And also, I realized that each region has its different type of mermaids. Like, not all of them are half human, half fish. Like, you have selkies that are like half human, half manatee, I believe. So it's like, yeah. And then China has like a couple of different ones. So depending on where you are, not the same thing. So let's just start with the basics, right? I feel like this whole misconception with like mermaids and sirens, and some way somehow throughout history, people just mixed sirens and mermaids. I talked about this like maybe years ago on my channel, and I feel like I need to reiterate this. Mermaids are not the same as sirens, okay? For whatever reason, kind of like a lot of people just merge them together, but they're not, okay? Now, it's funny because in Haitian culture, we have La Sirène, which is technically our deity. That is our mermaid deity. And when you think about it, just by her name alone, she's technically considered inherently evil, just by this definition I'm going to give. So keep that in mind. So sirens are actually the evil one. Mermaids are not, just by the regular definition. Sirens are the water beings that lure men to their death with their beautiful singing voices and their beautiful faces, usually by drowning men or sinking their ships. Mermaids have actually historically been the ones to save men from their sinking ships or actually save people in trouble in water. I don't know when or how they got merged, what they did. It's very interesting because Haiti's deity is called La Sirène. So I'm like, now that I think about it, I don't know how I feel about that. when people say, you know, La Siren, Mami Wata, River Mama, like all of them are like evil and demonic because they all kind of come from the same place. Okay, realistically, when you think about it, I get why they would say that, because historically people have seen sirens, mermaids, all bad, but they're not necessarily the same. And when you think about La Siren, Mami Wata, River Mama, all of them, realistically, again, historically, they've had really bad reputations because people have been terrified of them. They have been known to sink ships and kill people and all of that. But the thing that a lot of people need to keep in mind when it comes to mermaids, and I'm just gonna literally just call them all mermaids because I don't have time to be like, well, River Mama and the thing for that, we're just gonna call them mermaids, okay? What you guys need to understand, and something that I realize is universally correct, is that when it comes to coming in contact with a mermaid or with any mythical creature, is the way they treat you has a lot to do with your character. It has a lot to do with your intention, and it has a lot to do with who you are, period. Because if you're a good person and you literally mean no harm and you're not trying to do no bullshit, more than likely nothing ever happens to you. But it's usually the wicked people, the people that's out here trying to hunt mermaids, the people that's out here thinking that mermaids are evil and they're terrible and they out here trying to steal the golden table from the River Mama. They're the ones that end up having the most heinous, crazy, terrible things happening to them. Not saying that everyone that dies at the hands of mermaids deserves it, but I'm saying a lot of it does have to do with your character as a person. If you're a mean, evil, full-hearted person, if you have bad intentions, more than likely you're not going to have a really good experience with any type of mythical creature, not even just mermaids. And I've realized that whether we're talking about folk tales or real stories, all these people that have had really good experiences with these mermaids turned out to be really good, genuine people. All these people that had horrible experiences, they didn't seem to be great people to me. So I feel like that has a lot to do with it. Who you are as a person, what your intentions are, what your beliefs are. So there's a key difference between how sirens and mermaids look as well. I'm surprised I never peeped this until now. So sirens usually have more sharper edges to them. They're kind of like darker in color. They kind of have web fingers and they kind of have more edge to them. Mermaids have more round features to them. They're a lot more colorful. They're a lot more brighter. You could tell a clear difference, now that I think about it, from a mermaid and a siren. Also, sirens are actually the shapeshifters. They're the ones that can walk on land and marry humans and do all of that extra shit. Apparently, mermaids don't do that. But again, historically, I feel like both of them have evolved and kind of synonymously become the same thing, because there's no way. I don't believe one is not the other at this point, because I'm like, I don't know, like just thinking about all the stories I've heard, it's hard to tell which is which. Now, in terms of them being good or bad, I don't think it's okay to just say all mermaids are good or all mermaids are bad. Mermaids almost always kidnap people, okay? They're always out here snatching people for their own convenience. Sometimes they kidnap you and they return you if you do as they ask, or you do the opposite depending on whatever's going on. And just a quick little tidbit there, I've always been told mixed advice on that. But what I do know is that typically if you're kidnapped by a mermaid, there's always gonna be another mermaid there, or like groups of mermaids around you, so you're not going to be by yourself. So realistically, you'll know what to do, okay? Like, just in case you're ever kidnapped by a mermaid. More than likely, any of us watching this are never gonna be kidnapped by a mermaid, okay? Sometimes they even heal people and bring them back. Like, this is something that they've done numerous times. I've heard so many stories about that. Many times they'll kidnap people and bring them back with magical powers, enough to make them an Ogon or a Mumbo. Sometimes people will get kidnapped by mermaids and come back maimed or worse, dead. Don't know why. Again, I'm not saying they deserved it, but that's just what happens. Now, there's been a lot of really good stories that I've heard regarding mermaids. There's a friend that I had that went to a South American country. I can't remember which one it was. Kind of in Chile, to be honest with you, because that's the first one that popped in my head. But nonetheless, he was out diving in some river and he almost got pulled in a dam of some sort, or to be honest, don't quote me on it. He got hurt, okay? He dove in some river and he got hurt and he was about to drown because he got hurt. So like he hit his leg and he couldn't swim and his friends was not paying attention. You know how people ain't shit. The water was extremely deep. So from what I understand, it was like a cenote type of situation. Honestly, after he told me that, I was like, see, I love me a cenote. Like, I love cenotes, but now I'm never going to a cenote ever again, because excuse me, I love cenotes, but like I don't know how that makes sense, because I'm like, how did you get hurt while jumping off of some shit, whatever. He hurt himself on some type of shit, rock, stick, whatever, and he couldn't swim, and his friends weren't paying attention to him. I think like the rapids or the waterfalls were way too loud, so he was like basically drowning. His friends were right there, and a mermaid came and basically helped his ass and pulled him to the shore, like, well, not a shore, but like to another rock far off in the corner, like in a cave or whatever, because he could have died. Mind you, this whole time his friends not paying attention because they drunk, they drinking, they partying, they doing all this goofy shit. If it wasn't for that mermaid, he would have died, and his friends probably would have went to jail. What was y'all doing that y'all friend jumped in the water, hurt his leg, couldn't swim, almost drowned? What the fuck was y'all doing? Where was y'all at? Doesn't make sense. So yeah, a mermaid saved his life. So now he's one of those like mermaid worshiper people. I'm not sure what they call mermaids in Chile right now. Let me look it up. Oh wow. Okay, so Pincoya, that's what it's called. That's pretty. Okay, guess we're gonna look at it. Okay, so Pincoya, a Pincoya saved his life. So apparently, according to Chile myth, they are really beautiful. They have long blonde hair, incomparable beauty. If she dances facing the sea, there will be abundance of fish. If she dances away from the sea, there will be scarce fish. This is very interesting. Definitely gonna add this to the list of videos to do about mermaids. So yeah, so now he's one of those. Yeah, I mean, mermaid saved his life. Who am I to say it ain't real? My mother had a cousin who lived by a riverbank, and this riverbank had a lot of mermaids in there. Okay, a lot of mermaids, and they were not allowed to go in the water, but of course they would go in the water anyway, and they made friends with the mermaids, of course. But the problem with this house is not even the mermaids. It was the fact that they would have a lot of intruders in this house on like a very regular basis. And one day, I believe the parents weren't home and they left the kids in the house, but not even for a long time, like maybe 30 minutes or so. And while the parents were out, intruders came in the house, and apparently these mermaids pulled up to the house and they fought off these intruders. So as you guys can see, for the most part, mermaids are not always evil, kidnapping people, trying to kill people, and doing all this goofy shit. Like sometimes they can be an asset, okay? Sometimes they do good. They're not always out here trying to eat your flesh and drown you and steal your soul or whatever the fuck people be saying that mermaids do. A lot of times they actually are trying to help you. You leave them alone, they leave you alone. Now, of course, there's been some very scary, horrible stories out there. There's one story I read a couple of months ago about a man who was literally by the water in, I believe it was Zimbabwe, and he got kidnapped by a mermaid, and of course he was returned. He didn't remember anything that happened. I believe he was kidnapped and returned too fast for anyone to even notice he was missing, and ever since he was kidnapped, the mermaid continuously visited his dreams, and apparently he was married to this mermaid. I don't know how that happened, because like he said he didn't remember a ceremony or anything like that, but basically the mermaid claimed him, and ever since then he's not allowed to have any other relations with any other mermaid. He's tried to go to every type of voodoo priest there is. No one's able to take this mermaid off him, and yeah, it's like he's so unhappy because it's like every marriage he gets into, like the mermaid sabotages it. There was another story of a girl that I heard of. I'm not sure if my mom told me the story or if it was a family friend, but long story short, my mom told me the story too. Damn, she had a lot of mermaid stories. But basically she was telling me about this girl that she was friends with back in the day, like when she was younger. She was literally at the beach. This is probably one of the very few beach stories I've heard about mermaids. Comment down below, Haitians, are mermaids in the sea different from mermaids in the river? Because I mostly always hear about them being in the river, never at the beach, but this time I did hear about it at the beach. So basically she was at the beach, she got snatched up at the beach, they never saw the girl again for maybe 13 years. Like they never saw her again. They thought she drowned, they thought she died, and that was that. They never would have thought that, you know, a mermaid took her, because for the most part, like I said, they're usually in the river not in the beach. So one day the girl turned up, like she showed up, and she was the same age that she was 13 years ago, and basically she showed up at her family's house, and she was just like, yeah, I'm a slave to the mermaids, and I'm never coming back home. And she returned to the water. I mean, I'm telling it very vague and like, you know, but it was a scene. They were like, she looked the hot mess, she looked terrifying, she liked The Grudge. Y'all know what The Grudge looked like? The Grudge, okay? Like pulled up looking like the grudge, and she was like, yeah, you're never gonna see me again. I don't know if they made her come out and say that because they were just still looking for her after 13 years. I don't fucking know. But basically she came and she was like, yeah, I'm never coming back. I'm a slave. I'm sorry. Yeah, and of course her family was hysterical. They're screaming. They running after her ass, but by the time they tried to run anywhere, she was gone and she was right back in the water. Like, she just walked back in the water and disappeared. Like, child. So yes, there's some evil shit going on, okay? I would never deny that. But I do think that just like us, some mermaids are actually inherently good. And I think that needs to be acknowledged. I don't think it's okay for people to just be like, oh, they're all evil, da da da. Even if that's the case, it's not like y'all gonna be able to do anything about it. It's not like we got one of them motherfuckers in the lab or something. Like, what y'all gonna do? Kill it? Pray it away? Like, mermaids are probably the most powerful, smartest beings we got. If anything ever happens to us or anything ever happens to the world, I think mermaids are probably gonna be the only thing that fucking saves us from shit. Shoot, shout outs to Agwe. Agwe was the main spirit that was helping the Haitians during the Haitian Revolution, okay? He was the one chasing the colonizers out, alright? Like, water spirits is out here. They're actually some of the most powerful spirits on this planet. So put some respect on their name, okay? So of course, like I said, comment down below. What do you guys think about water spirits? What do you guys think about mermaids? Good or evil or both? And most importantly, did you subscribe yet? I don't understand what you're doing. And if you're subscribed to this channel, did you subscribe to the other channels? Yeah, I have two other ones. I have my Haitian channel, which is this channel. I have my main channel, which is rants, commentary, reactions on Black social issues. And I have my third channel, which is for vlogs and personal content. So subscribe to all three. Everything you need is linked down below. With that being said, I'ma see y'all next time. Bye!